Hello people and welcome to the second part of the Hearthstone the Grand Tournament card review. Today we're starting with the class cards and we're starting with Druid. Living Roots, 1 mana. Choose 1, deal 2 damage or summon 2 1/1 saplings. This one's a little difficult to gauge card wise because 2 1/1s for 1 mana isn't bad, and neither is 2 damage for 1 mana, because most of the 2 damage cards are 2 mana, or more, depending. You either get some board presence, or get to hit something for 2. 2 isn't that much. You could take out a 1 drop, maybe a 2 or 3 drop, depending. The 1/1 saplings closely remind me of the Paladin Hero Power, especially the Paladin Hero Power upgraded by the legendary Trueheart. But for 1 mana for 2 1/1s, that's even better. So, I don't know about this one. The 2 damage might be good. It might be good versatility-wise, but the minions might die quickly as well. Druid of the Saber. 2 mana for 2/1. Transform to gain charge or +1/+1 and stealth. This is really good versatility in a Druid card. The Druid of the Saber is really cool. If you need a stealth minion, you get a stealth minion for 2 mana for a 3/2. 2 mana for a 3/2 with stealth is really good, and so is 2 mana for a 2/1 with charge if need be. Because it's either a Murloc, or the closest thing I can think of stealth-wise for it is the Silent Knight or the Naxxramas one. Darnassus Aspirant. 2 mana for a 2/3, Battle Cry. Gain an empty mana crystal. Death Rattle. Destroy a mana crystal. This one's hard to gauge, but I'd be willing to say it's crap. I don't know Ramp Druid that well, though, so don't take my word for it. It might be very good, but I wouldn't be willing to risk it, because if it wouldn't be worth silencing your own minion with one of the 2 silences you keep in your deck, and it's just an empty mana crystal, and that 2/3 can die pretty easily. And not to mention that this card would be really bad to get later in the game if you just top decked it. Astral Communion, 4 mana, gain 10 mana crystals and discard your hand. Holy crap, combo alert time. Okay, well, top deck combo alert. Really? The no drawbacks Astral Communion is it's the only card in your hand and you're at 4 mana. I don't know how that works, but it'd be cool. But 10 mana crystals. Wow. Obviously, to build a deck solely around this kind of card and ramping that quickly, you'd want card draw. I'm very excited to see what people will do with this card. Savage Combatant. 4 mana for a 5/4. With a really good Inspire, give your hero +2 attack this turn. So not only are you getting value out of your hero power every turn for your hero power, but you don't have to damage any minions whenever you use the bonus, like other things like... what other things, really? I thought there were other Inspires, like... Oh yeah, like MacLeod's Champion, where you still have to... if you have to trade on the board, you still have +1/+1 on each minion. You get to use that minion, but that minion dies in a trade. And yeah, this allows you to trade things yourself really easily. Obviously, it has to compare to Shredder, because the Shredder can kill it, or can trade with it, and have a new thing pop out, which is annoying. But if you get the Inspire off quick enough, you can kill a Shredder no problem. That's what makes this thing cool. Aviana. 9 mana for a 5/5. Your minions cost 1. Wow. It's insane. Now, I can think of many combo potential with this card, especially since we just saw Astral Communion and other things. But I'm not here to talk about that there, because those combos are very, very obvious. But one thing I'm here to talk about is, after watching a couple other reviews, I saw them say things like, what happens if I play Aviana then Emperor Thaurissan, or I have to play Aviana first, and I don't think Emperor Thaurissan will make the minions cost 0. Because Aviana's ability is a persistent effect, much like the earlier card. It's 4 mana, 2/6, you know what I'm talking about, and the boss from Blackrock Mountain. His hero power was a persistent effect. Thaurissan would not make your minions cost 0 because that persistent effect ruled. Its rule continued. So Emperor Thaurissan will not make your minions cost 0, or should not at least. Brave Archer, 1 mana for 2/1. Inspire, if your hand is empty, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. So when I first heard of this card, I heard, Hunters have another 1-drop. And I faced desked hard. You know, something else to keep them aggressive. But then I saw this thing and saw that Hunters got royally screwed with this one. So, sorry Hunters. Best you could do with it is maybe 2 extra damage, 4 damage with an Inspire at like late game. It's an awful card because it'll just die right off the bat anyway. Yeah, it won't stay persistent, and it's basically just there. It's 3 mana for 4 damage to the face, and it will never be able to attack. It will never get the chance to attack itself, so it doesn't have as much value as something like the what's another 1-drop Hunters commonly use? Leper Gnome, maybe. Because if Leper Gnome gets damage out onto the face and you shoot it, and then Leper Gnome dies the other turn, Leper Gnome still got 4 damage. This thing would only get 4 damage. So that's awful. Or, well, 2 damage from its Inspire, that's it. Lock and Load, 2 mana. Each time you cast a spell this turn, add a random Hunter card to your hand. Holy crap! OP card incoming. This thing looks insane. And you know what? It probably is insane. But yeah, Lock and Load looks very powerful. And with good reason. It is very powerful. You cast spells, you get random Hunter cards. Even legendaries, so imagine getting King Crush multiple times. Pretty neat. Ball of Spiders. 6 mana. Summon 3 1/1 web spinners. I don't see this card being very good anywhere else, but in a way, it's play 3 minions, draw 3 cards. So that's what web spinners do. It's 1 mana, draw a random beast at the when it dies. Or Lock and Load, Ball of Spiders, Feign Death, some other spells, and you get even more Hunter cards. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna have fun with this card, indeed. Mage! Fallen Hero, 2 mana for a 3/2. Your hero power deals 1 extra damage. Now, obviously, we'd like to have a little more survivability, so 2 mana, 2/3 would have been great, but 3/2 isn't bad either, and it'd be overpowered if it were a 2/3, if it could survive that one early game. So, Fallen Hero, it's pretty cool. Makes your hero power deal more damage. Who doesn't need that when building an Inspire deck? And Mage can definitely go very, very tempo-y with stuff like Inspire, with some of the Inspire things. Especially this next card, Effigy. 3 mana, secret. When a friendly minion dies, summon a random minion with the same cost. So it's kind of a better mirror entity. If you, in a way. Because you, in a way, can choose what dies rather than if you mirror entity, they can choose what you get. Because they'll know what it is. I mean, process of elimination when it comes to secrets. So yeah, Effigy is going to be pretty cool. I think it will be. Looks really fun, because mages get even more randomness. Spellslinger. 3 mana for 3/4. Battlecry. Give both players a random spell card. That is a very, very solid 3-cost minion. I mean, it gives your opponent a random spell card too, but more spells for Mage, for Tempo Mage. It's a way you can get your tempo going, especially with your Flame Wakers and everything. It's gonna be neat. Flame Lance, 5 mana, deal 8 damage to a minion. That's pretty neat. It's huge removal, but Fireball is still better, and I wouldn't want this taking up a slot in my deck. Chances are, though, you won't need it to take up a slot in your deck with some of the legendaries and other cards in this game, like the guy we just mentioned, Spell Slinger. It'll give you a spell, it might be Flame Lance. Pretty neat. Kuldara Drake, 6 mana, 6/6. You can use your hero power any number of times, and it's a dragon. That's cool, they're adding more dragons. I like that. So using your hero power any number of times, let's weigh the pros and cons. Without any upgraders to your hero power, you can ping 5 times per turn. Not amazingly useful. And with the Maiden of the Lake, you can ping 10 times per turn. Who needs Pyroblast when you've got 10 times face ping? Pretty neat. Now with Maiden of the Lake and your Fallen Hero, that's 20 damage per turn, assuming they are up that long. But yeah, this combo relies heavily on that your minions are still out, and that you're winning in a way. It'll help you keep winning, and it'll stop them from making a comeback if you have the right cards out to combo. On to Paladin. Argent Lance, 2 mana for a 2/2 weapon, Battle Cry, Joust effect. If you win, gain +1 durability. This card is simply not worth it. Like I've mentioned in the past with Joust, what you want to do when picking a Joust effect card is you want to make sure that you'd want the card with the added bonus and without the added bonus. That you'd want it despite the fact that it might lose the Joust. So that is the reason that Argent Lance is not good. It's only 1 durability, and Paladins have better weapons. And this weapon would take a while to break if it had 3 durability, so you'd be breaking it yourself if you suddenly needed your True Silver out. It's not worth a slot in your deck. Warhorse Trainer, 3 mana for 2/4. Your Silver Hand Recruits have +1 attack. More Silver Hand Recruit synergy. Yay! It's pretty cool. I mean, it could go with that other 3 mana thing we in the neutral commons, I believe. The one that gives people Silver Hand Recruits. That's pretty cool. And it's something other than Quartermaster that synergizes with the recruits. Pretty neat. I like the card. It'll stay alive long enough to do its stuff. Unless, of course, it's up against Piloted Shredder, but come on, that's Piloted Shredder. Tuskar Jouster, 5 mana for a 5/5. Battle Cry, Joust effect. If you win, restore 7 health to your hero. That is insane, and way better than Healbot in my book. Because the stats are way better. It's an effect you'd want for the bonus effect, but sometimes don't mind if the effect doesn't go off. I'd only have one of them in my deck, though, because if I wanted healing, like, right there, I'd definitely put a Healbot in. I'd put, like, 1 Healbot, 1 Tuskar Jouster in. And chances are, against most decks, I'd win the Joust. So, well, against Zoo, Face Hunter, and maybe Mech Mage, I'd win the Joust. And this one would be completely worth it when it comes to that Joust. Aedric the Pure, 7 mana for a 3/7. Battle Cry, change all enemy minions' attack to 1. So that's an interesting effect. It's a mass humility. Pretty nice. And being a 3/7, he can stay on the board pretty long. So that's nice as well. He'd definitely be great. He'd definitely be better as 6 mana. There's no doubt about that. But at 7 mana, he's kinda useless, I'd say. 7 mana for 3/7 stats. However, if you're up against slow decks with big minions, giant decks, really. Wow, yeah, actually, if giant decks become a thing, all those 8/8s, This guy could be very, very effective against that. They just flood their board with giants, and you just Adric the Pure. That's pretty cool. So, he's a tech card. Much like Harrison Jones and other tech legendaries, he's very tech card, and he's not for. You don't want to tech him when you're up against aggressive decks, because a lot of aggressive decks have minions that have 2 attack or 2 attack, 1 attack, or most 3 or 4 attack. It's not worth that. So he could definitely survive a couple hits from things, and if you mass humiliate all of them, of course he'll survive them all, so he's, in that regard, he's pretty cool. Tech him as necessary. Priest! Oh, am I glad that Priest is getting some cool stuff. Flash Heal, 1 mana, restore 5 health. Obviously a card you only want to take if the meta is very, very, very insanely aggressive. But there is no doubt that restore 5 health for 1 mana is a lot. But it can only be used once. Now, if you take someone like, what's his name? He's the 5 mana, 4/5 legendary, the one that gives you spells for Inspire. He's really good because he'll have a chance to give you this card. And if you're in a dire situation, you can use this card. This card is going to be really, really nice, I think. Now, if you were put in... Now, I guess you could go very, very aggressive Priest. Well, defensive aggressive Priest, really, with this card. Because you'd have your Akanai Soul Priest, and then you'd have your Flash Heals, your Light of the Narus, your... basically anything that heals or doubles healing effects. Prophet Villain. Make this do 10 damage to the opponent's face with the Akanai Soul Priest. So that's interesting. I don't know, Flash Heal can have versatility because it's in Priest. When it's not in Priest, when it's taken from by, say, Mage, maybe a Rogue with the new Burgle card I'll get to, it serves only one purpose, unless the Mage unstable portaled into an Akanai. Which happens, so that could be interesting. Confuse, 2 mana. Swap the attack and health of all minions. I do not know how to gauge this card. I don't. At all. Please, someone, in the comments, just mention, I don't know where to start with this card. It's a huge double-edged sword. But it looks like so much fun. I don't know about Confuse. Holy Champion, 4 mana for 3/5. It's basically the Light Warden, but bigger. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack. Pretty cool, so eventually 4 or 5 mana, or 4 or 6 mana 5/5 that gains per hero power. So cool, some more synergy for Priest hero power, or Priest cards, really, because this isn't just hero power, it's not an Inspire effect, so Flash Heal and all the Priest healing cards buff it. Pretty awesome. Into Rogue. They've got some interesting cards coming their way, except for Poisoned Blade. You can just look at it right now. I'm not going to go over it, because it's bad. Cut Purse. 2 for a 2/2. When this minion attacks the enemy hero, put a coin into your hand. So, if there's a taunt, or if there's a minion it attacks, it will not give you a coin. But if it attacks the enemy hero, you get some coins. I don't know about that. I mean, coins are cool, and I guess the more coins you have as a rogue, that could be a rogue thing. You gain coins, and you use the coins for more combos, and yeah, that's pretty neat. So the more coins you get out of this guy, the better, and the more combo potential you have. Awesome. Burgle, 3 mana. Add 2 class cards to your hand from your opponent's class. Thought Steal for rogues, except from opponent's class, not deck. So, has a chance to get worse cards or better cards. Control rogue maybe? Could be very useful. Could be very useful. I've heard said that this could be very useful in Control Rogue, and I agree because of a couple cards that are coming up that could be very useful in Control Rogue. Shadowpan Cavalry! Combo, gain +3 attack. Yeah, 5 mana, 6/7. Not bad at all, especially since comboing will be very easy once you get the coin off of that thing. So, if you get any coins off of Cut Purse, you can play this thing a turn early and get it to be a 6/7. So in a way, that's a 4 mana 6/7. That's even better than it was before. So I'm looking forward to Shadowpan Cavalry in a Control Rogue sort of thing. Anub Arak, 9 mana 8/4. Death Rattle. Return this to your hand and summon a 4/4 Nerubian. Oh yes, it's the better Maloran and Skeleton Knight. It is the better both of those things because 8/4. Sure, it dies to a lot of things, but it goes back into your hand if unsilenced. And it summons a 4/4 Nerubian, so every time you put it out, you are guaranteed to get 8 health out of this guy in a way. You're maybe not guaranteed to attack with it, but you get Nerubians. That is cool and pretty powerful. Now, this guy will always win top deck wars, or end game battles, where one person, or end game battles where both of you have only your hand left. And you could just keep placing a new Barak out, and if he kills it, too bad, you get a 4/4 Nerubian, you get it back into your hand, and you can keep putting it out. A new Barak wins in those sorts of situations, and will go great in Control Rogue. Mark my words! Even Mass Backstab will see some play in Control Rogue. I hope there's a Control Rogue, there better be. I'm gonna make one. Shaman! They've got interesting cards this time around, except for Ancestral Knowledge. So we're just gonna skip to Totem Golem. 2 mana for 3/4 with the overload of 1. So it pays 1 mana forward for a 3/4 totem. You can get it out earlier than the mech, and it's overall great. Sorry about that if you can hear that. Hope you can't. But yeah, it's great, and it's made even better by this next card, Tuskar Totemic. 3 mana for a 3/2, Battlecry, summon any random totem. So this thing will always basically be a 3 mana 3/4 with a random effect. This can summon your hero power totems. This can summon any random totem. Or it could summon the Totem Golem and be a 3 mana 6/6. Not bad at all. In fact, that is a very game-winning sort of play right there. Tuskar Totemic can also get you very useful totems like the Heal Totem if you're very, very low, and you decided not to put it in your deck because the Heal Totem is kind of crap. The Manatide Totem, that one's very good. It could just get you all sorts of totems, and these totems are really, really good. So, Tuskar Totemic, really awesome. Charged Hammer! 4 mana for a 2/4. Death Rattle. Your hero power becomes deal 2 damage. I don't think this weapon is good at all. The 4 mana makes it too much, especially since it takes 4 hits to finally get to that hero power if you chose it for the hero power. So, it's overpriced, it's too low damage, and it's too much durability for the Death Rattle. I don't think it's a good card. Sorry, Shamans. Stick with your regular hero power. It's better. You know, you don't need deal 2 damage. You've got so much removal already. Why do you need a Charged Hammer? Draenei Totem Carver. 4 mana for a 4/4. Battlecry. Gain 1/1 for each friendly totem. Frostwolf Warlord, basically, for 1 mana less. So, sweet! And since lots of shamans are going to be toting this totem stuff, then yeah, 1 or 2 of these might be seen. And if I were to make a totem deck of sorts too, I'd put 1 of these in my deck as well. Probably just 1 though. I don't know if I'd rely on 2 of them. I'd rather have different 4-drops, so I'd have 1 of these and probably some piloted shredders or the Blackrock Mountain 4-drop that Shaman's got. Forgot its name. Thunderbluff Valiant. 5 mana for a 3/6. Inspire. Give your totems +2 attack. Notice, it does not say give your totems +2 attack this turn. So it's kind of a permanent Savage Roar. for totems. Gives your totems a little extra bite. That, and if you have the totemic might, they're buffed in both health and attack now. You could just keep inspiring your totems. I don't know how that works, but you're a shaman, you don't care. Warlock, Demon Fuse. Okay. It can't even deal damage. There's no point in just giving your opponent a mana crystal. I'd rather it say, draw your opponent a card, or something, just anything. Draw your opponent 3 cards would be better. Wrathguard, 2 mana for a 4/3. Whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount to your hero. It's not that bad. I mean, no one's going to waste a Pyroblast on it just to get, 10 damage to your face, because they can bypass taunt with it anyway. Now, I mean, unless... I don't know. Wrathguard just isn't that bad. Now, true, anything that is going to hurt it will hurt you. So Frostbolt it, Hunter Frostbolt it, Shaman Frostbolt it, Warlock Frostbolt it even, and, it's dead. And it hits you for 3 as well. But, in a way, it has synergy with, Flooding Watcher, so that could be neat too. Just watch out for Hunters. You don't want to fight them when you have this sort of thing. They will take advantage of it. But either way, 2 mana for a 4/3 is really good. As we saw with Succubus for Arena, I know that that's pretty good for Arena, minus the, discard a card thing. So it's a better Succubus, in my opinion. Dreadsteed, 4 mana, 1/1. Death Rattle. Summon a Dreadsteed. Fist of Draxus, 4 mana. When you play or discard this, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. What kind of card is that? You gotta admit, it's very unique. And you'd want to use it only when you have a chance to discard it. But whenever you discard something as Warlock, you don't get to choose to discard this. So whenever you discard something as Warlock, you only have a chance to discard this, and deal 4 damage to an enemy without paying the cost. And 4 for 4 isn't that good. And chances are, you'd be playing this. I mean, I guess you could put Succubus in your deck, and Soulfire, and then just go like full damage that way, but I don't think it's worth it. There are better cards for Warlock. Demon cards, so... Wildfrid Fizzlebane, 6 mana for a 4/4. Cards you draw from your hero power cost 0. Imagine having Garrison Commander out, and your turn 10. And you put Wildfrid Fizzlebane out, and you hero power twice. That's pretty cool. Then you draw, say, Kel'Thuzad and a Taunt minion, and you play both of them on the same turn. That is best scenario for this guy. For slower meta, or against slower decks at least, this will be an awesome card. Faster, and people who control easily, this thing will die quickly, and it's basically an 8 or 10 mana card. But the mana reduction on it is real, so just try stuff out with it, If you get it, make sure to try and build a deck with it. See what happens. Could be good. Warrior, Alexstrasza's champion. 2 mana for 2/3 Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and charge. 2 mana, 3/3 with charge is what I see out of that card. Because there are enough dragons now that, especially since Warrior runs Alexstrasza, they might not even have to make a full dragon deck. This thing could be very useful in that regard. So, yeah, it's a good card, I think. Very solid. Even 2/3, it's not bad because people play 2/3s all the time. Obviously, it's best with the dragon because the charge effect is cool for 2 mana, so play it like that when you can. Bolster, 2 mana. Give your taunt minions 2/2. This isn't a bad card, but it most certainly is not a good card. I guess you could build a fun, gimmicky deck off of it. Taunts! All taunts, and you have 2 bolsters and 2 of those rage cards, the ones that give 3/3. So yeah, you could have a fun little gimmick deck. An annoying gimmick deck, especially against face of all sorts. So, pretty cool. Bash, 3 mana, deal 3 damage, gain 3 armor. Yes! I love it, and it's perfect for Warrior. Warlock Drain Life was not good anyway, so this thing is the better Drain Life, and it's for Warrior. Thank you. Warrior needed something. Other than Grim Patron. Okay, maybe Warrior didn't need something, but, you know, this is awesome. And last but not least, I'm sorry, Warrior, King's Defender. Battle Cry, if you have a minion with Taunt, gain +1 durability. It's 3 mana for a 3/2. I know I did that out of order, but whatever. So the thing about this is, there was a mistake I heard I think one person in one review say. When he was talking about it, he was saying that even with 2 taunts, gaining that much durability isn't good, you know? But this thing says specifically if you have a minion with taunt. So, doesn't matter if you have 3 or more, because it doesn't say for each minion with taunt, gain +1 durability. It says if you have a minion with taunt. So, that automatically makes this card awful, because you'd have had to play a taunt minion beforehand. You know what's still better than it? Fiery Wind Axe. So thank you for watching, people. Okay, I messed up my own ending. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Comments are always appreciated, because I love to talk about these new cards. So, please send a comment my way. I will be sure to reply to said comment. So thank you for watching again, and goodbye. Tournament Medic, 4 mana, 1/8. Inspire, restore 2 health to